Hello, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, good evening. Welcome to the Assistant Doc Talk Show, and I'm your host and moderator, Assistant Doc. We had always been talking about school. Today, we are going to talk about the children coming back to school. So, our today's topic is back to school. Some parents they are worried that they should not send their child to the schools, but some they are very keen, very interested that the children should go to the school because from last 1.5 years they are not going there. And also at the time at the level of the schools they are trying to maintain all the norms of the covid where the children are more safe. So here in this show today we'll be discussing about how the children coming back to school and what are the problems the parents are facing or the schools are facing. Without wasting any time, I will introduce you to the first very eminent guest, that is Manisha Sharma ma'am. She is the principal of Venkateshwar International School, Delhi. Ma'am has many achievements at national and state level in dance, drama, and debate. Apart, she is also MA in English, B.Ed, and PhD. She has keen interest in dance, drama, and debate. She is a recipient of Best Student Award at the university level in the year 1986. She was invited by Australian High Commission to attend Australia Indo-Schools Leaders Professional Learning Program in year 2014 at Sydney and at invited by GSD Group of Schools Spain to study School Environment Program at Madrid in June 2019. Represented India in School Educator at World Teachers Day Celebration Conference organized by UNESCO held in Bangkok in the year 2009. Ma'am has a wide experience of 34 years in education from 1987 till date, and she has worked with the prestigious schools in various parts of India as senior teacher, head of department, and school administrator. More than 15 years of experience as principal and vice principal. Ma'am is a CBSE trainer. She's a resource person also and has conducted more than 150 workshops. And again, I will apologize with all the principals because you people have done so great work in the education field that it will take a day's time to introduce you all one by one. So, Manisha ma'am, welcome you, and I'm apologizing you that I'm not introducing totally to you because you have so much experience, vast experience of 34 years, and you had been working with, because I had been also following you. They had been working with so many good schools and institutions all over India, because everything is there on media when you want to know about anyone. I just like to know you, or all of us would like to know you, that how have you kept up your interest of this dance, drama, and debate as far as school career is related?
I think every child should be really pushed and motivated to participate in dance, drama. And I really thankful and grateful to my parents that they have never stopped. And my always and continuous struggle as I was student to balance between my academics, because I'm a professional Kathak dancer. So I used to go for national or state level festivals used to be there. But it has really added. I think these activities are must. They add so much in your personality, which otherwise just simply studying in a classroom will not be sufficient. So I'm sure as school leaders and all my school leaders who are there are in tandem with my thoughts that we must allow, motivate, push, nudge, inspire our children to participate, because it gives you so many life skills which we are talking in today's date. Those times 20 or 30 years back, we never talked about life skills because we all were we used to go to fetch vegetables, milk, doing everything, problem solving, analyzing, doing everything. We all had hands-on experience. And that is what, when we are just even fighting for our rights with our colleagues and everybody. All right. So childhood was not so easy going, I per se, because nowadays we have given more comforts to our children. That's we all want to give best to our children or our students. But I think there should be a time when children should be allowed in so many activities which they learn, team skills, leadership skills, fighting for their rights, coming and rising on the occasion. What we talk about 21st century skills, I think these activities can provide them enough platform to hone their skills. That is what I will just say.
Thank you so much. Welcome, ma'am. And it is for sure. And NEP is also looking after all this.
Yes.
That
certainly.
how the students can do a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. And one more principal also, I don't remember her name, that she was very fond of Kathak. So she started up the Kathak classes in the school. You enjoy when you see. And my first principal, when I started my career 25 years back, he told me that we never grow above the age of 18 because we are in the age of 3 to 18 always. We never grow. So there should be a child inside you, which that all these things should come out. Because if you will become old, if you'll grow, if you'll become old, you will not let the children also to do all these things. So this is what we had been seeing when we had been studying in the missionary schools, and now also they don't cope with more of the activities. But let's see, ma'am, how the NEPs goes up, because a lot of good things are over there. How the challenges are being faced by the B and C category schools, because the A category schools already they are doing a lot of things from it. Let's hope for the best, because the positivity is more in NEP. Yes, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. C.V. Singh. Sir is the principal of Rawal International School, Faridabad. Sir has done MA in English and Economics, BH, MPhil, MBA, Education Management, and a PhD also. Sir, nothing is left now. He is the founder principal of Rawal International School, Faridabad, IIM Lucknow, and IIT Delhi, trained in school administration and management, author of books for primary classes, orator, debate at NDTV, primetime show, and Hum Log. That's great, sir. Recipient of many awards at state and national level, led at international education and cultural exchange program with students and teachers of Germany. So many principals they have praised about him, and it's a privilege that sir has given us a time that he is coming up to the show. He is what you call that super Rustam sort of, and he is so much talented that sir, I like to know about this prime time show in Hum Log. How you had been connected there, sir?
Basically, I was invited to discuss about the examination system at the NDTV, and no principal was ready to discuss about that. So I was invited there in front of Mr. Manish Sisodiya. He was he's the deputy CM of Delhi. So then I went there and I debated with him. And the second time I was invited in the Hum Log to speak about the present education system of India, because they all were disagree with that. So I spoke in the favor of the government, and NDTV always, not so good about the government. So that's why I got the occasion over there.
Sir, please, sir, you are muted.
Sorry. Sir, I would like to know that you have written many books for primary classes also. May I know which subjects you have written, sir?
Basically, I have been an English teacher, and I belong, my school situated in NCR, Delhi, Faridabad is a border of, you can say, Mebat and Delhi area. So what I see here, that students are not able to understand English, read English. They think that English is very difficult language for them. So I took the English through my books to take the English interesting with the rural background students. I created a simple story, simple poem for them. And I'm really very happy to say that for last 25 years, these books have been being taught in rural area of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. And they are very popular. I have written many poems, and they are being sung in the assembly also in many schools.
Great.
So I just made the English easy for the students who fear from English. Because men belong to Delhi, they do not know how the children have inferiority complex about the English, those who study in rural area. So I brought the English to them, those who were not aware about the English.
That's great, sir. Welcome, sir. Frankly, English is much easier than Hindi. Hindi is very difficult as you compare to the matras and Vindis and all. Still, there are confusions with me till date. And English is so easy. But there's a hesitation among the children that, of course, you are right, that English is a very difficult language. And because it has become an international language, everybody needs to know that. And even it is said that we should work in our original language and Hindi language. But still, if you make it clear, though, English is necessary everywhere,
English
along with Hindi.
opens the door of your career. English opens the door of your progress.
Yes.
Without English, you cannot progress so much in your life. English is important.
Really, sir. Because, sir, you are doing a wonderful job for the, for the rural areas also. Because we are an agriculture country. We have more than 550 villages in India. Cities are less and villages are more. And if this thing is spreading, because if literacy is from developing to a developed country, if you want to become literacy rate should increase. If that becomes 100%, of course, India will become a developing country. And this is the reason all the educationists like you and Manisha ma'am and Dimple ma'am and Priyanka ma'am are over there. And everybody is doing wonderful job. I'm talking to many principals, many principals. They are doing something else. I mean, you come to know when you are talking over here with them. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Next, we have Dimple Puri ma'am. She is the principal of DLF World School, Greater Noida. Ma'am is the school head at, as I told you, DLF World School, Greater Noida. She is a progressive teacher. She has varied experience of over 21 years in teaching classes of grade 6 to 10. She is a postgraduate in botany and B.Ed from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, Punjab. She has recently been awarded with CBSE Award 2019 for her innovative classroom practices by integrating SDGs into the curriculum. She also led her team with an expertise in varied fields of curriculum planning, inclusivity, pedagogy, and innovation, value-based education, resource management, capacity building of teachers, research-based classrooms, practices, engaging classroom program, SDG-based activities, and creating flexibility learning spaces into the classroom context. She's a British Council School Ambassador and is actively involved with assignments like assessment and briefing sessions. She is a widely published author and has written pieces on the aforesaid topics in Teachers, Cambridge, India, School News, to name a few. She has also been conferred twice with Life Empowerment Award in the category of teachers, and so many Karambir and so many awards again ma'am has received on national and international levels. And she is also associated with many associations on national and international level. We welcome you, ma'am. And from here, from your profile, I have come to know that you are basically from Amritsar.
Yes, sir.
And being a Punjabi, when you come to know about any place from Punjab, although I'm not from there, I'm basically from Kanpur only.
Okay.
You feel very good. Many relatives are over there, and you are there from a very pure city.
Yes.
Pure city, and you have come over here in Greater Noida. Greater Noida, ma'am. Welcome. And we like to know that SDG based activities. What are you doing in this?
So, sir, to give you a brief about SDGs, so I would like to tell everybody that today is the birthday of SDGs. So, Chandok sir, I must congratulate you as an edu leader that you are celebrating sustainable development goals. And today you have selected this day to organize such a great talk show. So Sustainable Development Goals is an idea instituted by UN, and it was incepted on 25th September 2015. And 17 Sustainable Development Goals have been set up by UN, and their idea and aim is to achieve these 17 SDGs by 2030. And there are various SDGs, SDG 1, zero hunger, 2, no poverty, 3, good health and well-being, 4th is quality education, 5th is gender equality, and so on and so forth. So in the nutshell, quality education, that is SDG 4, is a preamble to achieve all the SDGs. And as edu leaders, it is our prime responsibility to percolate these educational landscapes and objectives into our students. So the UN aims that to empower the youth and the edu leaders of the world towards not only, making the nations rich, but we are here to promote global citizenship. So this is how, sir, I have developed SDGs into each and every nook and cranny of my school. Entire curriculum floats around these 17 SDGs, whether it is in the classroom transactions or the sports curriculum or the talent hunts or the co-curricular activities or the assemblies. Everywhere the sustainability floats. And this is how we aim to train our students to promote global citizenship.
That's great, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. And Dimple, ma'am, it's a humble request when I'll add up you in the WhatsApp group. So please do share all this, because all the principals should share up what good things they are doing. That can be exchanged. That can be exchanged, right?
So I will share some of my articles, sir, on SDGs, which is a great blueprint for the schools to embed it in their curriculum.
Sure, right? Ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure is our, ma'am. Thank you. Next, we have a very wonderful person, Mr. Mayank Jain. He's the CEO and founder of Easy Schooling. So, Mr. Mayank Jain, he has obtained a degree in BTech from one of the most prestigious college in India, DCE. While in college, he founded a platform called Easy Schooling that would go on to become the largest admission platform in Delhi NCR. He has helped 10,000 plus parents in their admissions journey through his Zoom sessions. He also visited 1,000 plus schools across India and consulted and guided them on how to boost admissions. He knows the ins and outs of this field like no one else. Actually, talking about Mr. Mayank Jain, I will just like to tell you that because when we are talking up in the show, we do not know. We, as a principal administrator, we do not know what is happening outside the world, because technology has improved. Like Facebook have stopped now. The young ones are only using Instagram. Likewise, there are many new things have come into the culture, which we are not knowing because we are of the generation which we were not using this from the very beginning. So when I came up with this concept of Easy Schooling, when I met Mr. Mayank Jain, so I was quite surprised, and I was very happy also. These are very small examples. When we were very young, we were very small. Either the servants or any of the family member was being sent to the railway station to get the tickets booked. Then we had that agents who were taking some nominal amount. And then we have started up in mobile. Like shopping we were doing, going physically to the these stores and all. But now Amazon, Flipkart, many things have come where we can, on a click, we can get the things, or we can also return them. There's return policies are also very good as compared to the physical going also. The same way, the platform opened by Mr. Mayank Jain, he'll tell about his platform, but I'm very curious to tell about that. They have a website. I think website you have, sir, Mr. Mayank, a website. There's a website they have that parents, especially in Delhi and NCR, when they have to move for the admission of a child, they want to apply for 3 to 4 or 5 schools. What I came to my knowledge. And 10 to 15 days, they have to move into the schools. And at the very same time, during this pandemic time, they are not able to see the schools and they are not able to know much about the schools. And they get confused also. Like again, we say that Sharma ji ka beta उस स्कूल में जाता है, वहीं भेज देते हैं, लेकिन भेजने का पता चलता है कि शर्मा जी का बेटा तो पहले से बर्बाद था, मेरा भी हो गया. So there they get confused. So here in this platform, what they are doing is that they are listing up, they are collaborating with the schools, and these schools are being listed in their website with small websites, and there the parents are able to, on a click, they are able to know that what are the schools in the area, because fees is also a very big matter, the most important matter, along with the information or the things they need. कि ये भी होना चाहिए, horse riding भी होना चाहिए. Okay, this school is not having horse riding, so we'll go with this school which is having horse riding, or other facilities also. So they can make comparison, and on a simple click, he told me that on a simple click, the parents can find out which school is best for suitable according to them. It's not best, all the schools are best, it's suitable for them. As well as when I went into deep study of this, because I do not allow anyone like this into my show, because all the prominent people are over there. When I'm very sure about that, when I went into the website, I got a thorough of it. I saw many big branded schools who do not need admissions even. They have tied up with them because the technology is changing. 25 years, 30 years back, when that Dhirubhai Ambani brought up with the 500 mobile, so my prediction was कि ऐसा दिन आएगा कि मूंगफली वाले की भी घंटी बजेगी, मूंगफली हटा के he'll take out mobile. And this thing I'm talking right now, it's a stupid thing, because that time it was like it is impossible. But right now, accordingly, what I feel is this is the tradition which has started, and around 4 to 5 years maximum, it will reach pan India, where the parents will not be visiting the school physically, and they will not go through the school physically, and they will come up to these types of apps or these websites which are a very authentic one. It is also there, many people will be coming. Authenticity is very important, because many things we'll be talking to him about this thing. So we'll talk in detail also with him also. that what are the system of easy schooling. Welcome, Mr. Mayank.
Thank you, sir. So I think आपने मेरा पूरा portal explain कर दिया. So thanks a lot for that.
नहीं कर दिया तो I'll meet you when we'll come up to I'll come up to Delhi and we'll meet. So you will be becoming our sponsor. Because Manisha ma'am has given the venue.
Yes, I have given the space, and he's the sponsor.
That is for sure, ma'am. That is why I talked about him. No? That is why I talked about him. He'll be sponsoring it. Jokes apart, but I felt, Manisha ma'am felt that this is a very good thing is going on, because trend is like this. Trends are moving up to certain other things. Up students don't want to read. They don't want to pick up the books. They want to go online. 100 in my home. At least 95% of the shopping is done online because my kids are doing it and we are also following it. पहले नहीं मानते थे, अब हम मानने लगे क्योंकि अभी मंगा लेते हैं, मम्मा ना पसंद में, will return it within a minute. Within a minute he gets back. There's no if and but, you don't want or not, and you're getting it from there any of the shop or outlet. They won't take it. No, ये refund नहीं होता, इसका पैसा वापस नहीं होगा, किसी का कुछ और ले लीजिए. So the facilities, after sales service or facilities, this is the most important thing which the people need. You take money, but you give, and it's cheaper also when you talk about these online shopping and all. So accordingly, which and everybody will agree, I think so, that what the trend is going on, the trend of the future is, even he may not be also thinking about this, but I told him that my experience says, I'm a 50-year man, my experience says that slowly and steadily, this will reach pan-India. It may be easy schooling or whatever it is. If you move pan-India, it is also okay, but others will also come into, and this will move whole India, that after a few years, parents will not say, admission karana hai, let's click up, we have few websites, let's click over there, and on a click, we'll get these schools. I hope, Mr. Mayank, I'm right.
You are absolutely right. So wishing everybody a belated Happy Teachers Day. September should be celebrated as a teachers month, I would say. So because I am always forever indebted to all of you for whatever I am right now. And I am I passed out from Delhi College of Engineering. It was because of my school teachers only that I got admitted into one of the good engineering colleges. So whatever we are because of you all. Telling about easy schooling, I think sir has very well summarized it. And I would just say we are working in this industry from past 3 to 4 years. The only problem that is there in the market is misinformation. So we parents are usually misled. They are misinformed. So we need to provide them with right facts, right information, right things at our portal, as well as they can apply. So I think apply convenience is obviously a thing, but बच्चे का अगले 15 साल उस चीज से डिसाइड होना है. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि जो फैमिली की एस्पिरेशंस हैं, फैमिली की जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं, वो एक स्कूल से मीट हो. जो फैमिली चाहती है वो तो हर स्कूल हर बच्चे के लिए अलग होता है, हर पेरेंट यूनिक होता है. सो आई बिलीव देयर आर नो टॉप 20 schools और टॉप बेस्ट schools ऑफ द सिटी. देयर आर ऑलवेज द राइट schools फॉर अ चाइल्ड, फॉर अ पेरेंट. दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू डू. वी वांट टू एजुकेट एंड मेक पेरेंट्स अवेयर. तो जैसे हर 7 PM मेरा एक सेशन होता है हर सैटरडे, वेयर अ लॉट ऑफ पेरेंट एडमिशन सीकिंग पेरेंट कम. सो मैं उन्हें यही कहता हूँ कि आप वो मत देखो कि उन्होंने वहाँ पे कराया है या ये बेस्ट स्कूल है. Always think about choosing the right school. So this is what we are doing, and we are helping bridging the gap between parents and schools through our platform. So this
Mr.
is
Mayank,
please.
Mr. Mayank,
Please, sir.
have you heard the name of UniApply?
Yes, sir. I have heard of the name. So I think they came one and a half year back. I came into this segment 3 years back. So 3 to 4 years से काम कर रहा हूँ मैं.
Just I want to know what the difference in your platform and their platform.
Okay, so sir, the major difference is when I was talking to multiple 250 schools are associated with us in Delhi NCR right now. So the difference when I was talking to school people was the dashboard that we are providing to the schools. So we are not only providing the schools with the application, we are also providing the schools with the inquiries, with the parent, any parent adding the school to the cart. We are providing them with the analytics, all those stuff. Secondly is we are not promoting any school. We are not advertising any school. We are just listing them at our portal where a parent can either inquire. So in NCR, what happens? I'm not talking about Delhi. In NCR, what happens is parents don't usually apply directly, like 500,000 rupees application के नहीं देते हैं. They first inquire and then they apply. So this is the facility that we have also provided at our portal, so that a bridge can be formed. And obviously we are not only making it at a technical tool, I believe it should be more like a guidance that should be provided to the parents. So the content, if you visit our website, the content that we are providing to make parents aware about the USPs of the school is amazing, and that is actually telling about what a school is doing for the parents and how it is nurturing them. So like Sri Venkateshwar International, I was talking to Neeta ma'am when she came last session. So I was so impressed by what she is doing for the school and how initiatives she has taken even for a single kid getting admitted to that school. So I was so surprised. And these stories should come out to the parents. So I'm not saying I'm promoting any school, but the stories of the schools, what a school is doing to make parents happy needs to come out in front of admission seeking parents so that they can take a right decision. So this is the unique thing with Easy Schooling, that we are not promoting, but we are actually telling stories, what is happening inside the school to the parents. That's the thing that helps parent in making the right decision, instead of just portraying fees, facilities, or those things. We are actually telling the stories by principles or by content or by videos. So this is how we are different from them.
This is also we had a word in last session also, but we were talking many of the schools, they in their website they list up so many things which are not available in the school. So that when the parent takes the admission afterward joining, when the parents come to know these facilities are not there in the school, so there is a there's a mindset in the parent ke school wale to बेवकूफ सब बनाते. So with that school, the other schools are also kept up into the same category. So what I asked him also in the last session also, that what do you do? Do you go and visit actually to the schools? So what they do is that they go into the schools and they visit the schools, and they and they see all the facilities, whatever have been said in the website. So authenticity should be there, and the parents should be aware. Parents should also be aware what are they doing.
मैं ऐड करूंगा कि हम एक बहुत बड़ी कंपनी नहीं है. We are not a very big company. So any school partnering with us, we treat them as our child, or we are an equal stakeholder, I would say. So we nurture them with us, we grow with them. So we like to grow with any school that we are partnering. So the servicing or the way we talk to the school or how we partner with them is the most important thing. मतलब relationship मेरे लिए matter करता है. कोई school partner करे नहीं करे, that is like secondary for us.
Okay, welcome Mr. Mayank, and we'll talk further also to you about the Easy Schooling and how it is good, because in last session there was someone who was already being associated with you, and she was telling good about Easy Schooling. We'll come back to you. Next we have Priyanka Koti ma'am. She's the principal of Maxwell School, Delhi. Ma'am is a renowned educationist and who is very actively involved in the development of educational best practices in the country. She is an alumni of the prestigious convent of Jesus and Mary, Dehradun. She has taught at Premium Educational in Panjim and Gujarat, a University of Cambridge CELTA qualified professional. She works with the belief that quality education can easily be made accessible and affordable to all. She is an acclaimed resource person for training teachers. She is a chapter head for English Language Teachers Association of India, Delhi West. She is keenly involved with the development of curriculum and assessments at CBSE and other premium development agencies, the recipients of many awards by leading educational organizations. Her latest accomplishments are leading in the field of content development for teaching, especially with relation to the National Education Policy 2020. And again, ma'am is a recipient of so many awards that a room will be less for you to keep it over there, ma'am. You might be having a big hall with all the the trophies and the certificates with you. We welcome you, ma'am, and we are very grateful over here. You have a so deep knowledge. I had been knowing following you actually, because you are a great principal. So we have become principal following principals like you, the senior principals like you. And welcome, ma'am. And please let us know about your journey as an educationist.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, thank you, Chandok sir, for this wonderful opportunity for educationists to meet and also making it a convergence point for industry to be there. Education does not exist in isolation. It is in tandem with the society that we are living, and education is something which is aspirational. You shared that part there, and we are fortunate that my school that I lead is Maxford School, Dwarka, New Delhi. It is located in the subcity of Dwarka, in Delhi itself, very close to the airport. And the ecosystem here is that this is a very young sub-city, something that has taken shape in the late 90s and has taken growth in this millennia itself. So our school reflects the very ecosystem that we exist in. It's very important for schools to understand our own context. And if we have a context very clearly in tandem with our vision and in link with the community that we exist in, success stories get created there. Yes, now connections have to be there. And the reason that our school is where it is one, it is a very fertile ground for teachers to grow, and teacher training is a very important focus of our school. Yes. Along with that, we have taken best practices that suit us. Yeah, the world has thousands of best practices and technical platforms and pedagogies, but we have to have our very, very strong focus on who is the community, who are the students who are coming to us, who are the parents who are with us. So if we have a chunk of parents who come to us from Rajouri Garden or from Janakpuri, are our transport routes covering them tremendously or not? We are looking at the demography of our parents. If they are globe jet setters or jet setters, so to speak, and 2 years they're doing work in your Cincinnati, 2 years in UK, do our educational programs support the international best practices that our students who move for 2 years to study are very seamlessly integrated, and when they come back to us, do our processes again allow for a very seamless integration back into the system there? So we have all those things that we have taken care of. And the wonderful part is that it is being very strongly understood by the parents, because here we look at our students being our ambassadors. What better proof of a pudding than eating it? So if our students walk and talk the philosophy and the vision that we have out here, obviously the community comes back that this school says this is what we practice. Here the practitioners are practicing what they are saying, and the students are the proof that it is being achieved there. So that's the simple story of our school.
And thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much and welcome, ma'am. We are very grateful as you are over here. So learned people are over here. We'll come up to the questioning round because we have shortage of time now. Short answers we need. Manisha, ma'am, coming up to you because you know very well from last 1.5 years we were going up with online classes. So please tell us in short that what is the one positive effect and one negative effect of online teaching?
So you've asked me about one positive. I said there are hundreds of positive things, right? Because I am the person who always sees possibilities beyond problems, because always possibilities are there, and necessity is the mother of invention. Had pandemic not been there, we would not have been adapted technology so well. I hope everybody will agree to it, because we would have been doing what we have done right now, must have achieved after 5 years and so. So at least that has been, we have adapted so well. Now, talking to you, and we can see like in 1 hour show, we can connect to 500 audience in webinars, which would not have been possible otherwise. We would not have thought even so. Isn't it so? From local to global, we are doing everything. We are connecting to educators there around the globe, talking to our people who are there in the rural belt of India. How to connect, how to empower them. I think this online education, online things have done a wonderful task. And moreover, so I just believe, because teacher has also, like innovation is a key to progress and growth. Had they have these challenges would not have been there. I mean, what about you talk about Slido, Mentimeter, there's so many things are there, so many apps are there. Like in artificial intelligence, we talk about creating so many apps. They have learned just because of this only. So I believe that technology is very important. Apart from this, the very important thing which I'll say, you have asked me only one, but I have so many things to say because I'm so much passionate about it, because I always see the brighter side, of course. The one thing is there, at least the parents do pay heed what teachers are doing day and night. They are there, they're witnessing this. Isn't it so? They know, and teachers are also trying to give them best, because you know, they're constantly under the scanner. So there are so many wonderful things to say about the positivity of online school of education. But at the same time, I will say that interface is not there. What about those children, those they do not have resources? What about those children, those they are lagging behind in learning? So the learning gaps are there. The socio-emotional aspects are there. I mean, you and me and my children, if we think about 5 years back or even 2 years ago, how those jostling and fighting and learning with each other, sharing and caring, that is a part of growing up, which is not there, which is of course not there. That is why we say the robots, anyhow we talk about technology, it can never replace human teachers. They're always there going to supreme. So all salute to all leaders and all teachers on your platform.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. But there's a good news also now, that they are back to school now. They are trying to come back to school.
We are blended school. And those challenges are we are grappling every day, because blending learning is also not easy cakewalk. It is very challenging. We are learning from online to blended mode. And now we, of course, will go forward to offline. So, of course, I'm waiting for that day. We all will have a very normal, and we all will be in a normal atmosphere. But then, of course, we are always ready to challenges. That is there.
So, ma'am, whatever you have told in precise, we can say that the positivity is the technology which has come into being. And the second thing, negativity, is that the personal touch amongst the peers, the students as well as the teachers, is not there.
And Dogi, the most important thing I will just like to mention here, which I've already said, maybe it is a repetition. We are human beings and we are connecting with the other human, which is not possible through only the online.
There is one sentence in social studies that man is a social animal. If he's not getting socialized, he'll get dull.
Yeah.
That was happening with the kids also.
Yeah.
The kids are becoming aggressive, and everything is happening just because they are not getting socialized. Like they are fighting with their friends, they are playing with their friends, enjoying with their friends, getting naughty in the classes, and cribbling and something doing in the bus and all and all. They are missing that from last 1.5 years, 2 sessions. So we should feel also that, but we are happy as the children can come back. Let's hope for the best that the third wave comes up.
That's very important.
Yes, ma'am. We should pray all together that nothing happens now with the schools and the kids now.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Coming up to CV Singh, sir. Sir, as we are saying that schools have reopened now. So do you feel that the reopening of the school at this situation, when we are not very sure that the COVID has gone away or it won't come back in a big form? You feel it is justified?
Sir, basically, it is not a question of COVID now. It's a question of now what we are losing and what we are gaining. If you have heard the speech of Raghuram Rajan, he told that we are now developing an illiterate generation, a generation which is very weak, not only physically, mentally also, socially also, emotionally also. You know, it is very important now to open the school and to bring the school back, bring the students back to school. Because as ma'am told just now, the teaching is very personal. The teaching is not mechanical. We are teaching the human beings. We are very emotional. If we are not connected with the students, we cannot develop them holistically, because only getting information from the technology is not the learning. Learning is for life. Learning is for career. Learning is for the society. So now it is very important for the parents also, for the government also, that they have to open the school and they have to send their children to the school. Because otherwise, you know, we are going far behind. The child who used to come in the school at the age of 3, now coming at the age of 5 and 6, and the child is not able to hold the pencil. Children now have forgotten to write. We are taking the half-yearly exam now in class 5th and 6th, and children are not writing now because they have become very much lazy. They have they are facing a lot of problems about the obesity, about their appetite. They have lost the interest in the study. So I would like to request to all the parents from your platform that they have to send their children to school. Now, what about the health and COVID? Who can predict about the COVID? After this time, there will be no COVID. This time, COVID came. Earlier, dengue came. Before that, typhoid came. Before that, malaria came. Before that, viral came. So the things will go on. We have to learn, protect our children ourselves. We have to follow all the COVID guidelines. but we have not to play with the life of the students. As a principal, as a teacher, I highly recommend that parents must send their children to school. It's a good news that government has opened the school. So now parents have to come forward, and government and the civil societies have to come forward to create awareness among the students and the parents, so that the study can be go on continuously and we can come on the track what we have lost in last 2 years.
You are absolutely right, sir. You're absolutely right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Because even the mothers, they say that शुक्र है भगवान का कि भगवान ने स्कूल बनाया, वो 6 घंटे बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं, 1.5 साल से घर में है. तो some of the parents, they are forcibly sending to their kids that you should go this way and that way, both the sides, because they get rid of the kids for 3-4 hours, 5 hours, as well as learning. The most important thing apart from joke, the learning gap which has been made within 1.5 year or 2 years, 2 sessions, that is a very big one, because students, they had not studied all that from Google. All the papers have been done from the Googles. Everybody knows that whatever you are taking up the online paper with the cameras on and all, they have that all that split screen and everything. They are doing everything. Learning has stopped a lot. So it is very good that the schools have opened and the parents should cooperate with us.
The personality of the child is grown in the playground, not in the bedroom.
Yes, sir.
And now everything is being done in the bedroom only. The child is in front of the television or a screen or mobile or somewhere else. The child has forgotten about the books. You are a principal, you know very well, when the children are coming to school, they have no notebooks now. They are getting the printouts. You know, they are studying from the screen. They have no interest in study now. Or whatever you are thinking about the technology, as ma'am was telling, how many students in India have the online platform, the mobile, the network, the laptop facility? How many students have? You forget about the NCR or forget about the metropolitan cities. You go to the rural side. So we have to come to school physically now, and we have to adopt all the things which are have to the students. So my request to all the parents is, please send your children to the school. Take care of all the guidelines, take care of their health, but not at the cost of their life.
Of course, sir, you are absolutely right, because they are going to the markets also, they are going to the family function also. Why not to the school where we are following the protocols? Yes. There no protocol has been, wherever you see in the markets or the functions and all, protocols are not at all followed. We are following the protocols, but every restriction is that we can't send the child to the school.
Safest place for the children, because we know who is coming from where. We have the medical rooms, we are doing sanitization also. We are taking care of each and everything of the student. In market, as you are telling, in the street, in the market, in the functions, all the students are moving here and there. Who is sitting at the home at all the time?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dimple ma'am, we'll come up to you. We'll like to add something into it. Do you justify it? I mean, it is good that we are reopened the schools.
So actually, sir, I would also reiterate the Twitter statement of Anand Mahindra and Rishad Viproji when they said, I think last week only, that the schools must open. The country's future is at stake. And the loss is not only for academics, but also is of social emotional learning along with the digital divide. So with this, I think school leaders now, they must realize the corona as the new viral reality, the lingering health concerns, and now the school managements must prepare the school complexes with the robust learning avenues and options. So must look for quality, flexible learning options with, I think, 3 principles in mind: the precaution, prevention, and preparation. So if I talk about precaution and prevention, I think most of the school leaders now, they know that how modify they have to have their school campuses in terms of inviting the children, which level of learners, what number of students and sections. That though everybody is getting an expertise out of it. But the other aspect which I am particularly concerned is, to readjust and redefine our academic calendars in terms of putting Maslow before Bloom now. Because Bloom, we were talking only about, the higher order, gaining higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills. But Maslow's needs are more of, building upon building social and emotional learning within our students and teachers. So we have to put love before lessons and grace before grades. And as soon as the schools reopen, we have to have the foundational skills of the children now more, inbuilt. So this is number one. Number two, I think as far as my school is concerned, we have done a lot in the field of universal design of learning, in which we have tried to create flexible assessments, because this is the time when the teacher has to model flexibility. This is the time when the teacher has to have she or he has to be a subject matter expertise. He or her inquiry should be, her mode of strategy should be inquiry driven. She or he should be a reflective practitioner. So for that, my school has done a lot on flexible assessments in terms of designing choice boards, reflective tools like 3, 2, 1, countdown, exit entry slip, strategic questioning, round robin charts. So the idea is that once the schools open, our aim is to engage the children, because student engagement is a big question. Otherwise, if the teachers will do the same mundane tasks, the children will not feel interested in coming to school. They will say that if the same things are going to happen, let me sit at home and do the online classes only. So the teacher has to be unpredictable. I think as far as we all are concerned, we all will agree on the same page that teaching has to be unpredictable every day in his or her teaching transactions. Then only we can lead from engagement to empowerment. So this is what...
You're absolutely right, ma'am. You're absolutely right, because we have to entertain a little with them, because they have not been with the books and the studies for this 1.5 years. All of a sudden, if we put up the burden of education to them, they will feel that it's better to be at home and take online classes and make fool of ourselves and the teachers. Instead, the school should have a creativity sort of things also along with the teaching, so that children may take interest to going to the schools again, because they have, there's some memes also that I have seen this building somewhere. So father slapped him and said, "This is your school. Don't remember." So if you want to get back to the school, there are certain drills have to be done inside the schools, so that the child must come up into that particular, the flow, so that he may feel that I'm very happy when I've come back to the school. Otherwise, again, he'll say, "Mama, I'm not feeling well. Maybe there are many students who are not well. I should not go. It's very risky." So he'll make up excuses when he's not getting interested for that. Thank you so much, Dimple ma'am, for your valuable views and giving up so good ideas. Then I'll come up to Priyanka ma'am. Priyanka ma'am, because admission is a very big problem, especially for the pre-primary kids' parents, because they are confused that where they should get the admission done, as well as, in pandemic, they are not able to move to the schools to find out which the good schools are over there. So, and there are not any other platforms had been till now about how to take admissions and all. So what do you feel about that? How should it take decisions regarding the admission of the child?
I strongly feel, pandemic or no pandemic, admission of a child into the school system is a very, very important decision for the parents and for the child. It is going to, if we go by Delhi and 3+ as the entry level age, it's a 14 years of child, which is going to shape the life that student is going to lead. Yes. Now, when the parents are choosing, they have to make informed decisions. And this is a world of choices. When we were growing up, there was only one scooter company, so to speak. And if you looked at cars and choices, you can count the number of companies that you could buy a car from. You had to wait, you had to apply, a token was generated. The generation that we have now, and we all have lots of choices. It is not a singular choice. Yes. Now, in those choices, our decisions have to be based on sound fundamentals, because we have every kind of school to suit every kind of need there. There may be a child who's brilliant in sports. So you have a school whose focus is completely sports and games out there. And yes, academics are there, but they're nurturing great work. There may be a school which has, Mensa level, high IQ students, and the whole process driven of the school is completely into high academic achievement there. Another school may be achieving, entrepreneurship being nurtured very strongly out there, because there are generations of entrepreneurs who are coming out of it. So every school is a different ecosystem. Now, what the parents need to do is they have to know themselves. What are they looking at? Yes, very, very important. Many times we are trying to drive our car looking at the rear view mirror of the fellow co-drivers on the road. It will only lead to accidents. And we cannot lead or have experimentation when it is the choice of our child there. So one, parents need to prioritize. There are certain universal values in education which were true 500 years ago and which will be true 500 years after. They have to see which are the schools in their neighborhood which are within reach. They are accessible. They are affordable. And by affordable, I don't just mean the fee. That's the kind of time and investment that they can afford over a long period. You cannot be making a choice. We buy a dress in a wardrobe and we don't like it. Maybe we can afford to discard it, but we can't afford to discard schools again and again, because it will disrupt the child's life and create a wastage of a sort which cannot be bridged. So one, parents need to clearly chart out certain fundamentals will always be important, like literacy and numeracy and strong value system. Soft skills will be important, and team skills will always continue to be important, even more so now in the digital age, because you have to work with somebody who is in Korea or South Korea or Japan and England at different time hours out there. Fitness levels, and by fitness I don't just mean physical fitness levels, resilience levels also have to be very, very strong. You may have a boss who's from United States, where the culture and the ethics are very, very, very strong, deadline oriented and output oriented, and they might not have leeway or room for stretching those time boundaries. So those things we will have to very strongly nurture, because it is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Truly, the internet has become the conscious of the whole world. Now, where we have to look into is that online platforms, schools will create their pathways, and platforms like your Easy Schooling or UniApply or XYZ will also come across. So parents will have to look at their place of residence. They will have to look at what is a commutable radius for them, and that here pathways to reach there are there, because parents are of diverse kinds. You might have a child who's staying with grandparents and both the parents are in two different countries and the child is in a third country, because we have that kind of a demography also in our school there. So then again, what is easily accessible, what conforms to their minimal demands that they have, or expectation, not demands, expectation, that this is what I want my child to turn out into. So what can be done is use the electronic platforms to filter out what is within reach, because certain things will be beyond reach. There may be a school who has nursery admissions and seats opening only 50 in number, and alumni will definitely take it because they have extra points there. And you are a non-alumni, so you stand at a disadvantage. So you have to make this informed decisions, or your residence is so far away that you won't get the necessary points to be able to come in that draw of lots. I'm speaking from the perspective of Delhi right now. The second part is also going to be the parents have to analyze who is it who is turning out of those schools, who is coming out of those schools. Do they agree with the student who passes out of the school out there, with their humility, with their value sets, etc. So they will also not just look into the online data, but look at the hard facts which are available before them, that year in, year after, this school churns out people who contribute or volunteer in society. तो जो औरों को दे सकता है वो अपने लिए तो बहुत कुछ कर सकता है, क्योंकि दे तो वही सकता है जिसके पास कुछ है. So thumb rules out there. How are they contributing to the whole ecosystem around them? So those are things that parents will have to look into. Some things can be done online, that should be done done online. It saves time, it saves money, it saves and brings to you access which would not otherwise have been possible. You are in Singapore and you're relocating to Delhi. You can do a survey of all the schools immediately. What is the kind of teacher scenario available, teacher student ratio, what is the kind of result the school has been given. And a lot of transparencies are available on all school websites now. You know, a lot of the school is visible from platforms, etc. But along with that, the wisdom says they must also, when the opportunity comes, check out so that they do not regret the choices they have made. I like to make sure, you know, I'll make an analogy, sir, like you are giving. When you are looking for a prospective spouse for yourself, before the marriages, you will look into multiple. But once the marriage is done, the marriage is done, then you have to put your efforts to make a success of that marriage there. So make your choices as wise choices. And for that, you have to know yourself. You have to know the world, what it is and where it is arriving at. And once you know that, your choice will be something that you will be happy throughout life.
That's great. Just the gist you have given of each and everything. And there are hundreds and thousands of points which you have to keep in your mind, not only through 2, 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 points. Thousands of points you have to keep in your mind while you're taking admission of your child in a school. It's just like getting married. And after that, if you're sending your child to a particular school, you should think over that. Now my child has to be in this school for the whole schooling life. So it's a very big decision has to be taken as it is taken while you are getting married. The same way you should keep in mind. Absolutely fine, ma'am. So Mr. Mayank, we'll come up to you now because you have seen that so many expectations. I mean, few expectations are actually ma'am has told or the parents are. So does your easy schooling come up to all these expectations, or you have more things with you?
So ma'am has rightly pointed out. So I am really impressed by the things how Priyanka ma'am has rightly pointed out all the things that a parent looks after. And I am also very glad to see Dimple ma'am, Manisha ma'am and CV Singh sir school doing so, and especially Dimple ma'am with the way the activities she is doing for the school parents who are coming back to the school. So I think easy schooling is absolutely doing all those stuff that ma'am told. In addition to that, if a school is reopening, so what are the initiatives that school is taking? How is the school following a COVID protocol? What are the so what happened by some schools that are collaborated with us? We did like click the photos, how they have reopened and shared them with admission seeking parents. So we are even carrying out those internal things that I think school parents don't know. So ma'am rightly pointed out, like if anybody sitting in Singapore wants to come to India and select a school or take a school admission, then they, except knowing student teacher ratio, fee structure, except these things, they also want to know how are the parents happy over there. Because I always believe that word of mouth is the biggest thing that any school can get. And if the existing parents are happy with that school and we are able to portray that parent testimony and all those things to the parent, then that will be the key in going future, as well as making parents the right and informed decisions instead of just getting lured by what others are doing. So definitely we verify each and everything and present them to parents so that they can make an informed decision. And that is the pain and that is the problem that we are looking to solve.
Sir, great. That's great, sir. That's great, Mr. Mayank, that you are doing all these things and you are, the belief of the parent should be on you and you have to keep that. Everything what they need, much more, because a parent is talking about his child, but you are dealing with thousands of parents. You know that there are different expectations of the parents and you have to fulfill all these expectations all together when you are catering their needs. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll come up to Manisha ma'am again and we'll have a quick round. Manisha ma'am, we had been seeing that in traditional method, the advertisement or the, marketing of the school, even we don't need admissions, but the name of the, the sustain of the school should be there. People should know. So we had been going with the, advertisement in the newspaper with the hoardings and all. Now the trends have changed. So do you think that e-advertising of the school should be there? It is better or the traditional one is much better?
Certainly better, Santokh sir. I would like to say one thing, that action speaks louder than words. Whatever your good work you are doing, whether in the field of innovation or anything, it will certainly reach out to the community. But you have to be keep pace with the time. This is the age. Everybody is going and searching through Google engine and everything. Search engines are there. If they want to know, suppose if I want to know about any person or any school, which is so important, the immediate first step for each and every person is just to go on and find out any details via search engine. So of course, I certainly believe that the e-advertisement is a very good source, which is available, which reach out to so many. And of course, authenticity and validity are other important points. They will certainly have to find out and check. But we cannot negate, this is an age of technology, and we have to really look forward to it. And how can we showcase and how can we inspire others? Not only advertisement for school, but also how we are sharing practices. When we search via search engine about a school, we also get to know these are the good practices. I should also do something. So this is a kind of the ecosystem which we are creating for each other. And I think the technology is playing very important role. And of course, e-advertisement is a very, very important media for each and everyone to showcase and to advertise or to reach out to thousands and lakhs and millions of people.
Absolutely fine, ma'am, because it is economical as well as outreach is more as compared to traditional one. Definitely. And it is as well as economical, and because of this, internet and all this technology, people cannot fool more because everything is clear.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I'll just like to add here. Like recently in class 11, during pandemic time, many of parents, their children were studying in Saudi Arabia or Canada. They contacted us, and we have had online sessions, interactions via this. So students, that played a very important role because they searched it, they tried to find out, and of course the advertisement was there. They got it, and they sought their admission in class 11. So e-advertisement is a very good, which saves your time and which is really workable, doable in these present circumstances. And it is also going to remain there forever. When that's people great, like Mayank Jain, who's doing such superb job, and many more people will come to help schools.
All the good wishes are with them. All of us are wishing them.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, Manisha ma'am. We'll come up to CV Singh, sir. Sir, we know that the parents want to connect to the school. So should they connect up to the school with the help of the websites, or say there's another way which they can connect with the school for seeking admission of the child?
Sir, basically, Manisha ma'am is absolutely correct. Mayank Jain, Mr. Mayank also told very clearly, technology is very important. But what about the parents who are not aware about the technology, who have no internet facility? Okay, what about them? Those who are highly educated, those who are technocrat, living in the cities, website is very good platform for them to know about the school. But what about the cities apart from Delhi? If I speak about, you are from Kanpur, if you think about the rural area of Kanpur, what about them?
Can I add, Chandok sir, one sentence only here?
Sure, ma'am.
I started that action speaks louder than words. So people will certainly reach out if you're doing good work, I think. That is there. That is the first step, of course. But at the same time...
You are doing wonderful job.
No, okay. It's not about me, sir.
I am not speaking about you personally.
Right.
Sir, you are muted.
Sir, kindly continue.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I am doing wonderful job in my school, but the parents who are in my vicinity, they don't know about me, about my school, about my good practices. Then what should I do for them so that they can come to my school? This is the question. So how we have to reach to the students? Chandok sir, now it is the time you see the attendance of the rural area. 20% students are hardly coming to schools. We don't know about their whereabouts. They lost. I am in Faridabad. Faridabad is an industrial city. You know, many laborers, many persons who have small, some plants over here, some business over here, they have left the city to UP and to Bihar and to other states. What about them? I'm speaking about those students. They are also the part of our country. So somewhere the government or we people, we have to reach to the community so that they can be connected with the schools. India does not belong only to Delhi
Absolutely.
or Mumbai or Kolkata.
Absolutely,
India is a very
sir.
large country. So, ma'am, what about them? Those who have no internet facility, how can we connect them to the schools? This is the question basically.
Sir, but the thing is that with all the positive negatives come, and with the negatives positive come, we have to
Chandok,
overcome over that.
intervene here.
Sure, ma'am. Priyanka, ma'am, sure.
I think as educationists, it's so nice that we have diverse viewpoints coming here, because that's the sign of an intelligent community. It is important for us to have multiple pathways to reach across to our parents and to our students, because one shoe size does not fit everybody. So we will have to make accommodation for the one who is close to school. Maybe the child can walk to school and the parents can afford to send the child there. But what of a child who has gone to a hometown, like very nicely Singh sir said out there? So the blended part of it might have to, or the flipped learning or the online learning would have to continue, because the parent can't afford to send the child to the city. You know, there is a cost of rent or buying a place out there, and right now the parents are compromised. They do not have their livelihood in place. So it makes sense that they stay with the grandparents and they have sustainability there. So somewhere it will have to be, you know, offline classes. A brick and mortar school has to be functional, because there are children who are at a disadvantage. There may be children from a well-to-do background who don't have network signals because there is building construction around in their place there. So they are getting disturbed, and that thought process is broken. But then asynchronous modes, it gets posted so that they can learn at their own pace. And when the network is strong, it may be in the evening. You know, there are servers which become slow during working times, and evening it tends to become more activated. And there are the others for whom we might have to call the parent and the child for counseling to check and to identify gaps out there, and regular phone calls to motivate and information to be, or even I'm sharing, there are examples of schools like we sending over material at home to the child, school reaching across, because the child and the parent are not able to come because of whatever reason. So we will have to have a very strong eye on the data that we have, the context of where every student and sometimes staff are coming from, and if there are gaps and gulfs there, then we, the school heads and the school community, has to make bridges so that each one can get.
Ma'am, I'll also like to answer that. Once it happened that during this pandemic, there was a video that elementary teacher of government, during the pandemic situation, she went into the village community hall. She requested that to give me this hall. She just arranged for a projector over there, and she took the classes over there. So we have seen that in this 1.5 years, wherever there was even not a 0.1% possibility of having online classes, there also it has started. So the only positivity of this pandemic was that the technology has reached everywhere. We had taught the teachers and the school administration how they can take up their classes through WhatsApp also. Through low connectivity also, how they can
I want to add here, because when I was in school, there was a massive agitation which affected schools and colleges. For a good 3 months, everything was shut down. And because network, phone and digital devices were not there, I was in my board class. There was no intervention there. We have to do everything on our own and appear for the board exams. Yes. So such kind of a calamity has been prevented because of technology and the platforms out there. So we are living in a great age where even though there is a pandemic, there are solutions also available.
Chandok sir, I will just like to say one thing, which I really I have an immense respect for CV Singh sir, what he has really talked about. And this is not the concern of one teacher, school leader. It is a concern of our country, because the huge learning gap is there. And this marginalized people, I mean, I just can talk about my friend's school, where the children are coming from shelter homes. Those children, they have been adopted by homes. Now the homes have sending back to them their places, and parents are not able to take them back. They do not want. So we see there's so many diverse problems are there in our country. And I can really have really great empathy that we all need whatever we can do little for such kind of children, because such sizable section is always there in each and every institution. And what best can we do? How can we do it? That each and every leader knows. I mean, yes. Problem is there, but what we have realized, that is there.
Ma'am, actually, Star wants to say what I feel is
yes,
that everything is fine.
Yes.
But the government has to look into this, that this,
Right.
technology and connectivity should be in all the parts of the country.
Yes.
Everything fails up. Everything fails up when the facilities are not there. If NEP is also saying that they will train the teachers, and they will also improve the infrastructure. So infrastructure everywhere is increased. The connectivity and everything is increased. Everything is possible. But when connectivity is not over there, India is a land of diversity. We have so much.
It is a mammoth task. It is a mammoth
And
task.
we also study in social studies that we have so much of this natural resources in our country, but we are not able to use it fully because we don't have the approach over there. We don't have the transport, we don't have all those facilities over there. So when facilities will improve, that is why when we talk about economics or anything, that when treasury sector increases, then only the primary and secondary sector will improve, and that will become from a developing to a developed country. But positivity should be there with all of us, that when this NEP will be coming and all the things will happen, we will stand together and we'll do the best possible, and we'll take out the best positivity of all the technologies or everything. If there is a bio teacher doesn't need a smart class, she will take her to the garden, and she'll take up the plant and show practically, this is the plant, this is a leaf. Likewise, there are many situations. Social studies teacher can make the students as character, and n number of you. If you want to teach, if you want to give, you have n number of things. Without technology, also you could do, because till now everything was happening without technology, and India has created superheroes in India, which have shown their talent worldwide. Right. Let's come up to Dimple, ma'am.
So, sir, I want to, give my viewpoint about the question. I think what I understood was that apart from the school website, what are the other ways how you can reach out to the parents for school enrollment?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir? Sir, my viewpoint, what we have been doing it in our school is that, yes, of course, social media optimum utilization, whether it is Facebook or Twitter or school website, has been the place value and face value for showcasing the best practices, as Manisha ma'am has also pointed out. So what we have done, we have divided our best practices into various domains. For example, in the pandemic times, what is the e-readiness towards learning, or the professional development accolades and achievements of teachers, social emotional well-being of teachers and students. Then what are the 21st century toolkits? Then, art integration, experiential learning, so on and so forth. Such kind of posts we keep doing on daily basis, so that we type these keywords, and this is how it comes in the search engine. So this is how our school gets promoted. Apart from this, sir, we identify the population dynamics of the parents in the school vicinity and characteristics of the potential students. We develop a profile of the families we would like to target, who they are, what they are looking for, and how to reach them. Then based upon this comprehensive profiling, we understand the needs and expectations the parents possess from our school. Then after doing this reality check, we keep in organizing programs in the societies. Say, for example, our school organizes a career guidance program, or we organize a clay activity or an art and craft activity to invite the parents of those particular societies. This, we also make a database of our own parents, because parents have been the greatest cheerleaders of this time, and invite in our assemblies to help them share their success stories with our students. So as Mayank has said rightly, that word-to-word, promotion of the school, word-to-word advertisement is the best advertisement that we are going
Absolutely right, Dimple ma'am, because that is the best way.
Open houses also, we do it in our PTMs. We do conduct open houses for the parents to voice out their opinion. And in a nutshell, sir, the parents' choice and voice, the students' choice and voice, and we try to create friendly architecture, as we popularly call it, as flexible learning spaces in our school to promote the student enrollment apart from the school website.
That's great, ma'am. Because you are absolutely right. It has been happening since, ancient times also, that mouth conversing, or you say that your administration or your school is just like a fragrance. The more the fragrance moves, everybody smells it and come over there. Yes. So that is the most important thing. Coming up to Priyanka ma'am. Priyanka ma'am, as we have discussed in the earlier session, that e-marketing and e-commerce and e-advertisement had come into being. So do you feel that this is good, what is happening now in this present era, or we should come up to the traditional approach?
I think what has been left behind has been left behind. We can never come back to what was before the pandemic times out here, yes? Your technology is a game changer, and you cannot keep it away from the equation of our day-to-day working. I'm not even talking about institutional working here. Yes, if you recall, during our school days, we used to have an essay whether TV watching is harmful or useful. Yes, then it never came to whether mobiles are useful or not useful. You cannot do without a mobile or a digital device there. Yes, our school policies are set to change. Earlier, we had a no mobile policy in school, but when the students are coming now, they might need to book their cab to be able to go back home, or their parent might want to check on their safety before they go back. So over there, we have to accept that technology is here to stay, and technology is a great tool for any institution, inclusive of those in the education domain. Next part, there is a value to anything. As long as anything adds value to an institution, an organization, and the people associated with it, it will continue to be beneficial and its usage will increase. We had landline phones. Why did we have to go and discover your mobile phones? Because they had a limitation. You are not at the place where that phone is. So how will that phone serve you? So similarly, the digital advertisement its reach is much more than a hoarding or a newspaper which comes at home, the hard copy version, not the electronic version. So when you are reaching across to an audience and your demand is meeting supply out there, and I'm talking in totally commercial terms right now, those things have to be there. You have somebody who needs food, you will have to make a supply chain for that person to reach food there. Now, education is an essential. It is a necessity. It is not a luxury out here. For it to reach across to people, we will have to have different influencers and different pathways there. Yes. So that does not mean that conventional things are going to go away completely. No. But where there is cost value, that here, okay, you had a budget of 5 lakh for your advertisement of the school advertisement sharing. There are young organizations which do that. Now your electronic pulse is just a tiny little thing that designing your teacher can do easily. Any student can design because the layouts and interface are nice. You don't need a very expensive software to be able to do it. And you have platforms available where it can be generated because people have digital devices or devices to receive it. Suppose it was in a time that electronic media where the televisions themselves were not percolated, that advertisement had a very minimal reach there. So now accessibility, you have to provide the right things to the right people at the right time, at the right cost. So anything that will help us achieve that will be adopted. Yes. So there, that relevance of technology and e-platforms for influencing parents will be required, because parents don't know everything about education, especially education. So anything that showcases the best things and gives a reach to the parent to reach a place which they desire is a good thing. But at the same point, the word of caution out here, just as in the technology, there are tremendous amount of filters. You will have an Insta or a Facebook which makes you look gorgeous, better than supermodels out there. But the real thing also has to be tested. So organizations have to stand the test of real-time qualifiers being there. If that what is there in the advertisement, what is promised is not matched with what is practiced, it will have a negative washback there, because you will lose the trust of the community. And if what is promised or what is said is actually practiced and seen out there, it will add value to you. So again, what I recommend here is a madhyam mark. We will have to adopt the best thing. We have to try them out, and then we will have to customize them as per our needs so that it becomes effective.
Ma'am, for this thing also, many things have changed. That example came in my mind that when we have to move somewhere, we have to go to Jaipur, we have to go to Mumbai somewhere, and we have to have a hotel. So you cannot, rely on all the hotels. But if it is connected to say that OYO, so it authenticize that if OYO is connected to iska matlab, it might be right because OYO has certain norms, right? Likewise, it also came in my mind that this, suppose Mr. Mayank is also doing this thing. I don't know much about OYO. I know better about easy schooling. So if they are, showing up, stamping up their easy schooling over there, so there the parent have a little in the mind that, no, if this thing is being done by this particular website, maybe any easy schooling or any, so that becomes authentic. When you have the faith of that, the faith has to be created in a long term with the, either it is easy schooling or any other website. You have to maintain a long term. We saw, we were talking about that we are going up with many, we had been going up with many of the, this online, this what you call shopping and all. There were many apps, but only 1 or 2 are surviving, 1, 2 or 3 are surviving now. The rest they have gone away because they were not authentic or they were not into the market after the after sales service, or whatever you say. People, they are ready to pay more, but they want after sales services. If we talk about easy schooling right now, we are up with easy schooling. If Mr. Mayank, you come up with this at a very standard level, of course you have come up, which I've come up with already the schools you're working with, because you might not know. I've talked to them also about you also. Like we had a word with ma'am from GEMS, ma'am, director ma'am.
Amrita
Bora, ma'am. Yeah. So she's also, her school is also associated. Many other schools are also associated with the very branded schools. So because if you will keep up the standard, whatever you're keeping right now till the end, so of course you will be reaching up to the pan India, and as well as here on the other part, when the parents will rely on this, rely is very important. If you're taking any brand thing and you are saying, no, we don't want any guarantee because brand itself is the guarantee. So there, because you are a bridge between, you are bridging up the gap, or you are a bridge between the parents and the school. And the era has changed now. Everybody is agreeing now that the system has changed. So we are at the end, we'll also like to have to know your views, that how you're going up with in a very short way. And all the very best from all of us, that you always, you should succeed in your aim, what you're doing. You told me that you have your family business, your father business, but you didn't went into that business, and you thought that is a very good cause, which I should do, and which you are doing from last 4 years. Over to you.
Thanks a lot. So thanks a lot, everybody, for spending your time on a Saturday evening. It's a long time, and I will not take much of your time. I will just.
We do not want a thank you from you, Mr. Mayank, because the venue has been settled, and you are the host. So no need. That thanks will be converted to that side. You don't worry about that. You tell about your easy schooling now.
Absolutely. So just closing in. So जो ये बात होती है, तो मैम ने बोला, like Priyanka ma'am told, is absolutely right. कि the misinformation, the misled. So if easy schooling, like we are working from past 3 years, and not even a single parent or a single school has left us. So we are like growing, but we are not growing at that space कि हम किसी school को satisfy ना कर पाएं, किसी parent को satisfy ना कर पाएं, इस sense में कि if that parent is landed with us, then their child should get admitted into the right school. So it's about maintaining that credibility in the market. I think schools की जो credibility है, schools की जो चीजें हैं, that is obviously much more than what easy schooling Uniapply or any company has. So it's always their thing is more, but we can act as a third party, which is like helping them choose the right school as a third party credible platform. We don't want to be somebody who is biased towards any school. So we want to maintain that credibility, and everything is cross-checked, everything is verified, not even a single false information, and not even a single unhappy parent or a school is with us at this point of time. So kuch hua hi nahi aisa. So that's the thing, and I like to keep my hands down, work towards thing, and take blessings from all of you to work towards that and help as many parents as possible.
That's great. And I also felt very helpless around 2.5 years back when I had to get my daughter admitted in any university in Delhi or NCR. I had talked to so many people, but they were not having, correct views about the universities over there. There was this no platform to tell about the universities, and possibly it's about the schools also. I'm talking my personal experience. She is in the third year right now, doing her English honors over there in Noida, but I won't tell that university name. But the thing is, at that time I was very confused. I had talked to n number of people, but nobody was able to give me the right judgment about the universities. Somebody was saying this or that. You're getting confused. But at the very same time, if people like you are over there with the schools and with the universities and guiding the people, especially you are saying that you take up sessions with the parents also, you guide them also, as well as you are doing up with you collaborating with the schools, and you're also again I'm saying that you are a bridge, a very beautiful bridge, a very a tight a very neat and clean bridge between the parents and the schools. You're doing a wonderful job, because I feel I was very helpless at that time in 2019 when I wanted to get my child admitted. But now when you are over there, you are helping the schools as well as the parents. So I hope the parents will be reaching to the best place. And of course, because you are doing this, I've heard you are working with many schools and working with so many schools within a span of 3 years. It's a wonderful job. And none of the school has left. That also you have told us. That is also a good thing. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a wonderful session having you.